Welcome to Reiki Rising, your guide to all things Reiki and igniting your spiritual path. Join us every week as we delve into the transformative world of Reiki, sharing insights on how to navigate this earthly journey while elevating the vibration of the collective. Be prepared for deep discussions, enlightening interviews, and maybe even a glimpse or two into our live Instagram Reiki shares and conversations. Whether you're a seasoned practitioner or new to the energy healing realm, this podcast is your sanctuary for growth, healing, and connection. Hello and welcome back to Reiki Rising. I am your host, Raven, and today we're going to explore deeply transformative practice of awakening the heart. This month, our yoga classes, we've been focusing on the heart chakra, and in this episode, we're going to be diving into how we can release past hurts through the powerful combination of grief yoga and Reiki. So this next week in our yoga practices, we are going to be practicing releasing past hurts, grief, sorrow, pain, anxiety, situations that have happened in the past that maybe we're having some trouble releasing. So today we'll be talking about how Reiki can help support us on this journey and the practices that we'll be tuning into next week when we incorporate some of those practices of grief yoga that we talked about a couple of episodes or a couple of months ago when we did the grief honoring practice and workshop. So we'll be pulling some of that information in and incorporating that into our practices this next week. If you have not been coming to our yoga classes, that's okay. If that's something that you're curious about, check out the YouTube channel. All of those practices, including the grief yoga practice, is available on that YouTube channel. It has its own playlist, so you can look at those, see what resonates with you, and if you want to join us next week, either our Monday or Saturday yin yoga classes or the Thursday mindful movement class, will be doing this practice throughout the entire week. So if you are ready to jump into this episode, let's go ahead and take a deep breath and just feel into that heart space. What's happening there? Just allow yourself to be there for a moment before we begin. I wanted to start by just talking about how our hearts are the emotional core of our being. They really carry the weight of our past experiences, our joy, and our sorrow. And often we don't really realize how many old wounds we have and how they can weigh us down. And this can really prevent us from fully embracing the present moment and being open to new possibilities. This week's practice is about releasing some of those past experiences, letting go of what no longer serves us, and creating space for healing and renewal. So let's start by discussing grief yoga and its role in this process. Grief yoga is a unique and gentle practice designed to help us process and release grief. This is not about getting rid of grief, but moving through it, through the compassionate cycle of transformation. This is something that was created by the grief yoga founder, Paul Denniston, and it's really a beautiful practice that helps us realize that grief is a natural part of life, and it's something that we all experience at different times. It can be in regards to the loss of a loved one, or even the end of a relationship, or letting go of past versions of ourselves. Grief yoga really offers a space that is sacred so that we can honor those feelings and emotions that are attached to those experiences. Grief yoga, especially the practices from the Honoring Grief series, focuses on combining breath, movement, and sound to help us release stored emotions. These practices are particularly powerful because they work on both the physical and emotional levels. With breath work and grief yoga, we use this to connect to our emotions. In deep, mindful breathing, it'll help us calm our nervous system and create a sense of safety, which allows us to fully experience and express our feelings. The breath becomes a tool for moving energy through the body and helping us release what we've been holding on to. In the practice of grief yoga, if you go back through some of those videos on the YouTube channel, you'll notice I offer a few tools to help, and these come from the practice of grief yoga by Paul Denniston. And when we just take that moment to really breathe, sometimes that's difficult. We don't even realize how much tension we're holding on to, especially in our solar plexus. We tend to walk around holding on to a lot of these ties and attachments to these experiences. We don't even realize how much tension is there. So there are some breathwork practices that we will be working with in yoga next week, as well as in that live Reiki share on Monday. The next part of this is movement. The movement in grief yoga is very gentle and intentional. It's not about being flexible. It's not about how quick you can move through the postures. It's really focusing on areas where we might be storing tension or pain through heart-opening poses, supported back bends, or gentle twists. We're helping our bodies to really release the tightness around the chest and shoulders. And this is often where we hold a lot of our grief. These practices encourage us to move through these emotions with compassion and really listen to our bodies and allow the movements to be a form of self-expression. Sound is another key element of practicing this grief yoga practice. So vocalizing, whether it's through sighs, hums, chanting, however you'd like to vocalize this. And when we work with some of the breath practices and some of the pranayama, we will be releasing some sound, allowing that sound to come out. It's really a key component of grief yoga. Sound helps us to release emotions that are often too difficult to express with words. It helps to open the throat chakra, which is really linked to the heart chakra, and it helps to facilitate a more complete release of this emotional energy. As we move through these practices, it's really important to remember that grief is not linear. The healing path is not linear. It comes in waves, and it's okay and valid to feel a range of emotions during this process. The practice of grief yoga offers a compassionate and non-judgmental space where all emotions are welcome. It's about really meeting ourselves exactly where we are and allowing the practice to guide us through our healing journey. So let's talk a little bit about Reiki and how this complements the practice of grief yoga. As you know, if you have been listening to us, Reiki is an ancient healing technique. If you're just joining us, Reiki works on the principle of universal life force energy. This energy flows through all living things, and when it's blocked or out of balance, it can lead to physical, emotional, and spiritual distress. It can often lead to physical dis-ease that comes forward in our body. Reiki and the practice of energy healing helps to restore the balance by channeling this energy to clear denser, stagnant energies that may be lingering, similar to past hurts, grief, trauma, those things that need to be released. And this life force energy helps to clear those and provide healing where it's needed most. In the context of our heart awakening practice, Reiki is a really powerful ally. The heart chakra, known as Anahata, is energy center located with love, compassion, and forgiveness. So it's associated with this feeling of loving other people, how we receive love, how we feel about situations, and if we're able to forgive others. It's also associated with our connection to others, our community, our capability to feel joy. When the heart chakra is blocked, it can manifest as feelings of sadness, resentment, or an inability to really connect with other people. Reiki can help to heal and clear these blockages by allowing the energy to flow freely through the heart center space. So, how can we use Reiki to support the release of past hurts? Our focus for this next week. One of the ways is through energetic cleansing. During a Reiki session, the practitioner or yourself, if you are attuned to Reiki, you can channel this healing energy into the body, focusing on areas that feel blocked or heavy. And when working with the heart center, Reiki helps to cleanse the energetic residue of these past experiences. So those old hurts, regrets, sorrows that may have taken root in the heart center, this cleansing process, it can bring a sense of lightness and relief. We can lift the weight from our chest. On an emotional healing level, Reiki works to balance the heart chakra. It can help to dissolve the emotional pain and trauma, and it promotes feelings of peace, love, and acceptance, making it easier for us to let go of those past hurts and really open ourselves up to renewed energy, new possibilities, and loving vibrations. Reiki can help with spiritual growth. It helps support our spiritual journey by connecting us to our higher selves. When the heart chakra is in balance, we are more in tune with our true nature, and we can experience deeper levels of compassion and unconditional love. This connection can lead to profound spiritual insights and greater sense of purpose as we move through our life's journey. We can begin to find a deeper sense of purpose and connection with those around us, in our community, in our families, and in our relationships. Reiki is also a beautiful practice of self-care. You don't always need a practitioner to benefit from Reiki. With this practice, you can learn to really channel Reiki energy into yourself, and particularly into the heart center. Regular self-Reiki sessions can help maintain balance and release emotional buildup and cultivate a practice of daily self-love and healing. If you are not attuned to Reiki, I encourage you to check out some of our past live Reiki share recordings. It can help you really get a sense of what this energy feels like. And this is a practice that everybody can do. Reiki is already within you. You are just awakening to this ability to channel this energy, but it's already there. It's this life force energy that is already within you. So just taking time to pause and care for yourself, intentionally placing your hands and tuning into the energy in your body is Reiki for self-care. So when we do this and we combine it with grief yoga, it creates a holistic approach to healing the heart. Grief yoga really helps us to physically move through our emotions, and Reiki works on the energetic level to cleanse and restore balance. Together, it's such a powerful and emotional path to freedom and heart-centered living. To bring this into your daily life, I'd like to give you a few practices that you can start incorporating right away. Doing a morning heart meditation. Begin your day just with a heart-focused meditation, placing your hands over your heart and closing your eyes, taking a deep breath, calming breaths, and visualize a green light, the color of the heart chakra, and imagine this light just growing and expanding with each breath, filling your entire being with love and compassion. This is something that I do, especially if I kind of wake up a little early and maybe I know my alarm's going to go off in a few minutes. I just take a moment to really tune into my heart center, tune into my physical and energetic body. Another practice is heart opening yoga poses. Taking just a few minutes each day to practice heart opening postures like cobra or supported bridge. These help us release tension off the chest and shoulders and encourage more open and expansive heart space. One of my favorites is also supported fish. You can do this in bed before you even get up if you wanted, just putting some pillows on your back and just allowing that heart center to open up as you rest on that support and just let the shoulders draw down towards the earth. Again, Reiki self-treatment, definitely just spending those few minutes each day practicing Reiki on yourself, focusing on your heart chakra, allowing the energy to flow where it's needed. Just imagine energy washing away any lingering emotional pain or tension. And I always recommend journaling for release. Journaling is a really great tool either at the end of the day or at the start of your day. Take some time to journal about emotions and experiences that come up either during your Reiki self-treatment or yoga or during your meditation, and just write down those thoughts. It can really help you to process and release them and create more space for healing. And I really like to go back to those journal entries. Even if I feel like something was really significant, I'll kind of earmark the page and come back to it later just to reflect, just to notice how I am, especially during cycles with nature or cycles seasonally or with the moon. I like to notice how I feel around each moon cycle as energy is shifting. And this is really powerful during a full moon as well, if you lean into these heart opening practices, which next week, towards the end of the week, we are right before that full moon. So this is a great practice to tune into if you are looking to release all of that that has been weighing on you, whatever it is. It's really important to also just remember this is a journey. It's okay to move at your own pace, and integrating some of these practices of grief yoga and Reiki into your life. By doing so, you're really taking a step towards releasing and embracing a more open and loving heart. So with that said, thank you for tuning in to Reiki Rising. If you found this episode helpful, please consider subscribing and leaving a review. I would really love to hear about your experiences with these practices. If you joined us a couple of months ago, or if you are going to be doing some of the practices we talked about today, feel free to contact me on social media or think about joining our Patreon community. You will be able to access exclusive content and live Reiki shares. Our next live Reiki share is going to be about this practice. We'll be using some of those grief yoga practices on Monday for the live Reiki share at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you would like to join that, check out the Patreon community. You can join for free. And you get to come to those live Reiki shares. You get the first recording before it gets released to the podcast. And you can engage in those practices however you like. There's other options, of course, that you can be a part of, where you get access to different guides and journals and everything with your paid membership. So check out that Patreon link that is going to be in the show description. Until next time, I will see you next week. And until then, may your heart be open, your spirit be light, and your journey be filled with love, healing, and peace. Thank you for joining us on this transformative journey with Reiki Rising. Ready to take your spiritual expansion to the next level? Join us on the Reiki Rising Collective and unlock a world of connection and growth. Subscribe through our Patreon, link in the description of this podcast episode, and gain access to exclusive weekly live distance Reiki shares and enriching discussions. As a member, you'll also receive one-on-one coaching sessions, discounts on workshops, and so much more. Follow me, your guide in all things Reiki, on Instagram at Raven Waterblossom, and take the next step on your journey. Join us in the Reiki Rising Collective. We can't wait to meet you.